Hi there! Today I have another card for you. This one uses paper by My Mind's Eye, and then it uses two Ippity stamp sets. The first one is Because of You, and the second one is Where You Should Be. And we're going to go ahead and get started here with our cardstock pieces. Now, some of them I did a little bit of work on them already just because the last couple videos I've made have been a tad too long. I have a piece of dark chocolate cardstock by Paper Tray Ink, and then again this is the pattern paper by My Mind's Eye, and I'm just using my Color Box chalk ink pad. It's Chestnut Roan. This is my favorite color for distressing. This is a very juicy ink pad. It's brand new, so it is going to be quite dark, and once it dries out it turns into a beautiful distressing color, but because my cardstock is so dark, I still like this color with it. And I have two pieces here. First one is cut out with a border punch. It's a Martha Stewart punch. I do believe that this is the double scallop punch. And then the second little piece is just an extra sliver, and I've already put a little bit of adhesive on the back, but I also want to do a little bit of inking. This is another Color Box chalk ink. This is creamy brown. So if you think that the Chestnut Roan is a bit dark for you, you might want to try the creamy brown. Because this is the delicate little scallops, I'm just going to kind of rub the ink pad onto the paper. Now I am using my Ranger Distressing Mat here, so it protects my desktop and I can go back and clean this off, so I'm not really worried about getting ink on it. I just want this towards the edge. I'm going to trim just a sliver off the end because I did make it just a little bit larger. And we'll put on our, it's kind of a teal color. Just want to butt it right up next to the scallop piece. And again, I want to trim the little edge off. I tend to make these strips just a little bit bigger with my paper trimmer so that I can cut off the extra because, you know, sometimes it gets a little too short and it looks a bit funny. And just to make that blend a little bit better, I am going to ink the edges. And I think that really gives it a solid, cohesive look. And I'm going to attach it to my dark chocolate cardstock. In the example that I showed you earlier, I actually used my sewing machine to add a little bit of detail. You can skip that, or you can use a brown or black pen to do faux stitching, or a paper piercer, or even stamps, rubber stamps that look like stitching. Or if you have some rub-ons that maybe you haven't been using, that's a really good use for them. So I'll show you on this one. I went ahead and just did a simple straight stitch around the edge and then a zigzag strip to connect the two pieces of paper together. And then the next thing we're going to work on is our image. This is actually a piece of vanilla cardstock because the pattern paper is not quite white. On this stamp, I'm actually going to do two different colors. This is Pure Poppy. It's the Perfect Match Hybrid Ink, which is a paper tray color. I'm just going to ink the whole stamp. And then I'm going to come in with, this is a Dewdrop. It's Memento. This is what I normally stamp with. It's Potter's Clay. I'm just going to dab that on randomly. It's going to give us a two-toned effect, just like our pattern paper. I'll line it up over the circle and I'm going to stamp it. Now I used Spellbinder's Nestabilities to cut this out, but you could also use a paper punch if you had one, or whatever method you like to cut out your circles. And then I've also punched a chocolate layer to go underneath the focal image. And real quick, I am going to add a little bit of ink to the edge of this as well. Again with the creamy brown, and I'm just going to swipe it in sort of a circular motion And what this is going to do for us is make the color towards the outside a little bit darker, and it's going to feather in. And you could use a blending tool if you wanted to. This is just quick and easy. And I'm just going to take it and just darken up the edges a little bit. Simple as that. And before I start attaching everything, I am going to use my glitter pen to just add a little bit of sparkle to the berries. This would work just as well with stickles, or even some liquid dimensional adhesive will work really nice as well. That would give it kind of a raised, shiny effect. If you wanted, you could do the branch too, but I'm just going to stick with the little berries. Okay. One more thing that we're going to stamp, you can see that I've left the piece of cardstock in the die. It makes the placement just a little bit easier. We've got our sentiment, and this time I'm going to use some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I'm going to ink up my stamp. Just want to make sure that I have it the right side up, and I'm going to use the die as a guide. I'm going to press firmly, and that helps to center the sentiment inside, and then you'll have the little ridge from your die. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that two things that I seem to always use on my cards would be inking, number one, and number two would be dimensional adhesive. So I am going to put a couple of foam squares on the back of my focal image. Now I mail cards like this all the time. If you're uncomfortable with that and you're not going to hand deliver, you can just skip this step, but I really feel like it adds a little something to the card. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this piece first, because if you stick these together, it's a little hard to put your adhesive on the back. There we are, and I'll go ahead and do the teal strip while I'm at it. It's kind of centering it, sticking it down, and we'll peel off the backing of the adhesive. And stick our focal image down. And there you have it. It's just that simple, and you can choose to make it a little bit faster and simpler, or if you have a little bit of extra time or you want to make it extra special, you can add in the stitching. Thank you again for watching my video, and if you're interested in the stamp set or this pattern paper, please take a look at my blog. If you have any requests, let me know in the comments, and please take a second to rate my video if you liked it. Thank you. Have a nice day.